I'm managing particularly the area of advanced air mobility. In this area we have two groups. One group is called the Drone Interest Group, and it's a group that we founded 7 years ago. Is primarily led by the GSMA members, but this is because we wanted to understand the transformation that is happening in the aviation, and everything is going a little bit more digital, but also when we see uncrewed vehicles, or the drones, most of the communication that you have in aviation is based with human. So obviously, if you don't have a human on the drones, then it becomes a little bit complicated. So we're looking at how to use the 5G, use the services of the network to help and have safe operation on drones, but it can also be beyond visual line of sight. What it means that you can have your pilot sitting in a room and actually manages multiple of these drones doing the operations without actually having the need to be locally there. So, but in this case, you need to have connectivity. You need to have a network supporting for the operation. That's where we do, and we are working with a lot of MNOs and stakeholders in defining the guidance so that any operator who want to get into this area, which is a new area, at least they have guidance how to do and learning from the experience of the other one. So I encourage all of you to actually engage with us if you're interested to jump in this new area. Also in the same area, we also created a different group which is called Aerial Connectivity Joint Activity. We call it ACJA. This is a partnership with another organization, also a non-profit organization that is coming from the aviation. It's called Global UTM Association. So they have stakeholders, traditional stakeholders from the aviation, new stakeholders for the traffic management to manage the drones, and then we also have regulatory bodies or drone manufacturers, and we work with them because, as I mentioned, it's difficult to jump and work in the industry that if you don't know how they operate, and also the language. So the aviation has been there for quite some time, so it is actually quite difficult to understand the process, the procedures, the regulatory environment, and to be fair, also the language. So we needed someone else on the other side where they tell us what are the problems, what are the issues, and we try to translate that on our language so that we can also advance the standards. So when we need to advance the standard for 5G, we need to actually understand what they need, and then we need to translate it in our languages so that we can then, as a community in the telco, we can work appropriately and develop these things. So the SCJ is quite important because we have these two worlds together, and we try also to support other standards in aviation to define on how to use cellular connectivity for command and control, for remote identification, and for other services in the aviation, like a deconflictions and is an example. So these are the steps that we're taking with them in order to express and educate also how to use the network in the best way.